lift every voice and sing. You may be seated. A couple weeks ago, as I walked down the hall and saw Gretchen's beautiful bulletin board about Black history, and I looked at all the pictures of the famous Black men and women who have contributed to this nation. And I thought to myself, all over this country, there's been efforts being made to take the history of African Americans out of the textbooks. At least that part of it that had to do with slavery, had to do with Jim Crow, had to do with lynching. And when I read the text in Isaiah, I understood that it was a poem that was being read to a people in exile, many of whom had considered themselves God's own people, God's chosen people, descendants of David and Solomon. And their temple and their places have been ransacked, and all their valuables have been taken away, and the best men and women have been taken away to Babylon to serve others. And Jeremiah, they were hoping for a quick return. And Hannah said that the yoke would soon be broken, but Jeremiah wrote to him and said, no, you got 70 more years to go. Can you imagine what it must felt like to be torn away from your home, from your places of worship, from your ancestors, from all that you ever known, and taken to a strange land with strange people, with strange customs, and your language is forbidden. Your history is erased from your consciousness, and they change your name. You don't own yourself. You don't own your own body. You don't own your own labor. All that you have is for the benefit of others. And for 70 years, what about 150 years or 200 years or 300 years? Generation after generation born into perpetual servitude. That they are considered to be no more than the cattle in the field, less sometimes. You're a man, but you cannot protect your wife or your daughter or your mother from abuse and from the ravages of one. You can't even control yourself. I've been reading lately a book by James Cone called The Cross and the Lynching Tree. And in that he makes a comparison of the terrible sign that we Christians follow of a cross, which was a lynching tree. They lynched Christ. But yet we wear it around our necks, and we honor it. We see the grace of redemption in it. But no one wants to speak about the innocents who were hung in a tree in South Carolina and in Mississippi and in Texas. That's not to be spoken of. And when you see a hangman's noose, for many, it brings back a genetic memory, a memory I may not have witnessed it, but it's still the symbol shocks, much as the cross did in the time of Rome. But this chapter 40 is a poem to people who have grown up in exile, but it had come to a point where to say, where is my God? Where is the God that my ancestors made covenant with? Where is the God that he's forgotten me? Can you imagine being forgotten by God who no longer, how must they have felt when Absolute Jones and Richard Allen came before St. George Church and knelt down to receive communion and being snatched up from their knees while they prayed. But yet, they were able to still sing. Oh, wasn't like the song when they said, the Jews said we sat down by the rivers of Babylon and they required of us a song. How can we sing the Lord's song, the songs of Zion in a strange land? That's not what the descendants of Africa said. They said we sing. We sing. We raise our voices loud. And if they turn over a pot out in the bushes so that the sound would reverberate there and it wouldn't go back to the master. We sang. Why do we sing? How can we hope? We know the story, James William Johnson, African-American who went to Clark University, him and his brother, they wanted to celebrate Abraham Lincoln, the great liberator. So they wrote a poem. They wrote a poem about the history and the struggle of Africans who were exiled to the continent of North America. And they said, you know, God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, because we couldn't cry out loud, we had to hold it inside. One of our young people, one of our loved ones died. Our mother ripped away from our child from our breast. We couldn't scream out in protest. We had to cry silently. And the ground that we tread upon, the ground that for centuries has been watered by the tears of those who have struggled and watched their young ones and their old that died and never to hope. They said hope unborn had already died. Stillbirth. But yet we sing. God of our weary years, Stony not be able to see it. We may never get there in our lifetime, but you know what? We serve a God that controls all of time. Our God is a historical God. He's not an idol. He's not a mythology. He is a historical God that steps into history and no one can stand him. That's the God that we can trust in. Oh, we tread through the blood of the slaughtered. It squishes around all those who died before us. We do, but the God of those weary years, have you not heard? Have you not known that from the foundation of the work of God we serve? Gives strength to the faint. Renews your strength. How can you continue to survive when you can get a car and be murdered and stand in your own house and be shot down and the people get away from it free and you have to start a movement saying Black Lives Matter? Why do we have to start Black Lives Matter? No. Listen. Wait on the Lord. Wait. Wait on the Lord. Wait. Because if you do, you run and not grow weary. You'll walk and not faint. Those who wait on the Lord shall mount up on wings like eagles. Eagles don't flap. Eagles don't strain. Eagles go to thermal, to updraft, and rain storm, and they just soar. They wait on the movement of the wind, of the natural currencies in the atmosphere that God has provided, and they soar. They soar. They soar. And you can just, can't you just hear them as they soar? Let every voice then sing to earth and heaven ring. Oh. Soar. That's how you do it. That's the real Black history. I love Obama and Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King, but it's the ordinary people who day after day had to suffer and hold their peace and in their humility so that the younger generation could live and grow and then they can cry. We step where our fathers sighed. They could never see what we are today. They can't conceive of a defense chief secretary as a black man or president or senator. They couldn't see that, but they knew it was coming. They were just as sure that it was coming because of why? Why did they know? How could they have known? Because have you not heard? Have you not known? Didn't anybody tell you